Hi, it's Leah from Leah's Crazy Cake Lab, and I'm doing this super cool collaboration with my mom. She made this really beautiful princess cake, and I made these gorgeous crowns out of candy melt to put on top of it. So I'm really excited to get started, so let's just get right into it. I've got half of a parchment triangle, and I just cut the corners off, and I'm going to save them for my edges of my crown. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a design for the crown. I'm just going to do a series of hearts, and I'm not going to draw it out, but you can draw it out if it's easier for you to make it a little even and all that. So I'm just going to do a series of swirls and hearts, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's thick enough so that when you go to take it off after you've frozen it and it's hardened, that you don't have it falling apart. So this bottom part here, I'm just going to do a little border, and you can do anything you want. Just make sure that it's thick enough so that you have a base for your crown. And then I'm just going to do a series of hearts and swirlies. So this is a great time to put on anything that you want that you can get from your cake decorating store. You could do sparkles, sprinkles, dragées, anything that you want to put on there to add more to it. Just make sure it's still warm. And so I'm just going to sprinkle this on here. And it just gives it a little extra. So I set the other crown aside. I want to let it cool for just a little bit, not too long, because I want it to be warm enough to put over my mold, but I also want it to be, I don't want it to be too cool so that it cracks before I can do anything with it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a simpler version to do for the crown, and it's really just going to be swirlies, just little L shapes, and you want to make sure that they're very tight together. You want to make sure that they're touching each other, because you don't want it to fall apart. And so now we're going to start kind of moving in to get our little point for our tiara. Now we have to switch. So what this is on is a half of a salt box, a half of a salt container cut in half, and we just made sure that this was still warm enough to put over, but not dry enough to crack when you put it over. So now we just want to put it in the freezer and let it sit for a little bit, and then we're going to take it off, and meanwhile we're going to make the sides of our crown. So now we're going to do the little corners of our crown. And you just want to do, you know, some little swirls or anything to match the crown, and just make it come out a little bit. And do the same thing to the other side. And you just do the same thing with the crown. You put it in the freezer, and then you attach it when everything's hardened. So we've taken our crown out of the freezer, and it's hardened now. So what we did is we stood up the crown, and now you're just gonna very, very extremely gently pull in the parchment paper. Make sure that you don't knock it over in the process. It's kind of nerve-wracking, so you want to be as careful and as slow as you can. So these are hard now. I put this back on our flat surface, and our corners have dried. So we're just going to gently take those off. I've got a little bit of my candy melt, and this will go on this side. So I'm just going to I'm just gonna put some candy melt on the edge right here, and I'm going to attach it wherever it will fit the best. So I'm just gonna attach it right to the back here. And see, I've got it there, and it's just gonna dry. It really won't take very long. And we'll just do the other side really quick. We have our crowns now, and make 3 or 4 different designs. Make sure you make extra because they will break, and so you need to make sure you have backups. So this one we did, this was our L-shaped one, and you can see it's just as pretty as the other ones, and this one's easy for beginners, and we just added a couple little dots, a little medallion in the middle. There's a lot of stuff you can do with candy melts. I'm going to use this one for the top of our princess cake, which is what we made it for. And so we just have to gently pick it up and put it on top of our cake right in the middle. I really love this. I think it turned out great. You can see the princess crown is a great accent for an already sweet and gorgeous princess cake. This was fun. I'm always finding crazy and pretty and cool ways to use candy melt. This is my first time making the crowns, and it was really fun, and as you can see, it's really versatile, and you could just go wild and crazy, and whatever idea you come up with, you can make it. So I will link the video at the end to show you how to make this beautiful princess cake that goes along with the crown for Liz Larson. And I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I'd love to see pictures when you guys make this yourselves. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like us, share us. It really helps us out. Don't forget to comment. I'll always answer your questions, and we'll see you next time at Leah's Crazy Cake Lab. Have a good day, guys.